Kevin Hart accidentally let slip Travis Kelce's wedding day, and it happened right in the middle of a Wild New Heights podcast episode that had everyone talking. The show, hosted by the Kelce brothers Jason and Travis, was already buzzing. Thanks to the start of a new NFL season, an Eagles-Chiefs matchup on the horizon, and two of the funniest fans in the game, Kevin Hart for the Eagles and Rob Riggle for the Chiefs, joining for a no-holds-barred fan-off. The brothers set it up perfectly, with Jason introducing Hart as Philly's own, a guy who went from the community college of Philadelphia to Hollywood blockbusters like Jumanji and Ride Along, and Travis welcoming him with the same sort of energy he brings to the field. Hart didn't waste a second, jumping straight into the fray with that signature Philly attitude, tossing out a profanity-laced greeting at Rob Riggle. For the first time, I think I've realized that I don't have any phrases. Live had a bunch of noises. You guys, I have absolutely nothing. It's just me. Fuck off, Rob. The Kelce brothers cracked up, and the vibe was set. This was going to be a war of words as much as a football preview. Jason tried to steer the ship, asking Rob first about the Chiefs' rough start in Brazil, a weird loss that Riggle chalked up to time zones, jet lag, and logistics, trying to brush it off as nothing serious. Riggle threw out classic Chiefs bravado, promising Arrowhead Stadium would be electrified for the Eagles, that Kansas City was ready to remind everyone why it's the loudest stadium in America. Hart was having none of it. He called out Riggle with, "Spoken like a true loser. I mean, I heard everything but accountability there. Check out of my... For me, it comes out of nowhere." Shots fired, and the tension was perfect for what everyone expected from a Philly superfan. Hart then lit up about the Eagles, gushing over their Super Bowl run, and especially Jalen Hurts. For me, it comes out of nowhere. First of all, I've never been more static. He kept riffing. That is such a good reference. I mean, listen, when you come off of a Super Bowl, the first thing, right? Even as the transcript trailed off, the message was clear. Philly's riding high, the Chiefs are stumbling, and Hart was loving every second. Subscribe for more moments like this. The debate quickly turned to the stadiums, with Travis hyping Arrowhead's volume and fan energy, but Hart flipped it on its head. "I think that Arrowhead's a little safer," he said, a backhanded compliment that landed hard. Hart's point was that Arrowhead's noise is about unity and support, but Philly fans bring a different kind of energy. Personal, researched, ruthless. We don't even say your names, we just say your numbers. We're so disrespectful we don't say your last name. Philadelphia, we do research. We know what's going on in your family. We know the problems. That's right. You don't have a dad. That line exploded online, but Hart was just getting warmed up. He described how the link turns into a psychological minefield, the crowd going quiet just to let one brutal insult echo, putting the pressure right on the players' shoulders. Riggle tried to defend Chiefs fans with their legendary tailgates, but Hart steamrolled him. Tailgating in Kansas City is far from the best. He argued that Philly tailgates are just as intense as the game itself, that Eagles fans hold everyone accountable, including themselves, and that Chiefs fans might just be a little too nice for their own good. Jason, the proud Philly native, laughed along, agreeing with Hart's assessment. Travis asked if Hart had ever actually been to Arrowhead for a game, and Hart admitted he hadn't, but insisted he'd done his research. "I've seen the tapes, man. We know how to get under your skin." The brothers threw out trivia challenges and hyped up the rivalry, but Hart was locked in on the Eagles. "Jason's got that Philly blood, but Travis, you're gonna feel the heat this weekend. We don't forget Super Bowls." Every time Riggle tried to bring up Patrick Mahomes' stats or Kansas City's postseason magic, Hart shot him down. "Stats don't matter when the crowd's in your head." Hart even touched on NFL-wide storylines, nodding to the way quarterbacks move around the league or how top receivers sometimes struggle in Week 1, but he always brought it back to Philly's edge. He talked about the addition of Saquon Barkley, calling him a beast. "Philly's gonna run all over you." He described the atmosphere in Philadelphia after their Super Bowl victory, how the city felt like it was on fire, and how that energy fueled his own comedy and career. He told stories of watching the Eagles win, the streets full of joy, and how that kind of passion is what makes Philly different. The whole segment felt like a stand-up set, but with a football twist. Hart's jokes as sharp as his fandom. Subscribe. Now, don't miss the next showdown. As the segment wrapped up, Hart brought it all home. This is what it's about. Brothers talking ball, fans getting real. He fired one last shot at Riggle and the Chiefs. See you Sunday. Bring your earplugs, but it won't help. Jason Kelce thanked him. Kevin, you represented Philly perfectly. Ruthless and hilarious. Hart's appearance wasn't just about laughs. He showed off the cultural differences between fan bases, how Philly fans use research and personal details as weapons, while Kansas City fans celebrate with a little more civility. Hart's words went viral, people sharing his "you don't have a dad" line on X and TikTok, sparking debates about what's fair in trash talk. The episode captured the season's stakes, the Eagles defending their Super Bowl, the Chiefs hungry for redemption, and Hart's barbs adding fuel to the fire. Throughout, Hart never moralized or softened his jabs, keeping everything raw and real, just like his stand-up. He dropped pop culture references, joked about his height next to the Kelces, and brought the same underdog mentality that's defined his career, from Philly's streets to global stardom. The Eagles-Chiefs rivalry felt bigger and more personal than ever, thanks in large part to Hart's storytelling and wit. He painted a picture of Philly as an unforgiving city that never forgets, that cherishes its victories and uses every slight as motivation, and he made sure everyone knew the Eagles. Fans are in a league of their own. Hart's dynamic with the Kelce brothers was electric, a mix of good-natured ribbing and real sports passion, with Jason clearly loving every minute and Travis dishing it right back. Riggle's attempts to defend the Chiefs were valiant, but no match for Hart's relentless Philly pride. Even as the podcast moved on to other topics, the energy Hart brought lingered, setting the tone for the big game and leaving listeners with quotable moments that would live on long past the final whistle. The accidental reveal of Travis Kelce's wedding date, September 27, 2025, was almost an afterthought amid the chaos. But fans caught it, social media ran wild, and suddenly the Kelce brothers had another headline on their hands. The entire episode was a snapshot of what makes NFL fandom so intense, so personal, and so much fun, especially when you have personalities like Kevin Hart and Rob Riggle ready to go toe-to-toe. Whether you're an Eagles diehard, a Chiefs loyalist, or just love good football banter, this podcast episode had it all. Trash talk, deep fandom, surprise revelations, and plenty of laughs, making it one for the books and a must-listen for anyone who loves the game, the rivalries, and the stories that bring it all to life.